All right, we are live.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Christina Bianca Ward. With technically, it's our second episode of Tequila No Filter. But since we neither Jelyssa or I are tech savvy, we do not know how to post live feeds on Instagram. So we're making us a YouTube channel.
No, save live feeds, not post them. We posted it last week. Saving the live feed.
That's how tech savvy I am. I don't even know what terminology to use for what we couldn't do.
Right.
I know, right? So, and that is Jelyssa Cooper.
Hey everybody, my name is Jelyssa. I am originally from Chicago, but as most people know, I currently live and reside in San Jose. But I'm so ready to get started tonight. So tonight's topic is going to be about the stimulus checks that people have been receiving, tax refunds, and what people are doing with their money. Quite fun, right? So before we get started, since this is tequila with no filter, we got to take a shot. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So first, before we do that, right? This is the better brand. This one or the yellow one. This is the orange one. I don't know how many times this one is filtered, but this tastes like straight up limes. Like I drank this last week and I was like, that does not taste like the normal Patron. Like it just does not. I'm like, it's better. Okay, I'm ready for the shot.
This is the only bottle that they have left at the liquor store I've been to. So this is going to have to last me for the next couple of shows.
We'll see.
I'll be doing something a little more potent called rum tequila.
True. The rum tequila is good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
All right. Last time I do remember we said we was gonna get salt. I totally forgot the salt before we started.
That would have been nice. Guys, we're slacking. We don't have our limes, nor do we have our salt. Next time, guys. Whew. I know it burns. Not as much as dark liquor.
It doesn't really burn, but you know what? Being in like shelter in place, I really don't drink that much. So it's like my body isn't used to the flavor of a shot anymore. Like used to just be like
I've been drinking, but not hard liquor.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's get on topic about these stimulus checks everybody's been posting about, which for one, I don't know why people are posting that they just got paid. I feel like that's like the best way to say, hey, I have money, come rob me. But that's just me.
True. I totally agree.
Right? Just like, oh, my stimulus check came in. I have an extra $1,200 from the government. And since I post so much on social media, you probably know where I live. So
so true.
Don't come around me. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, everybody got a check, right? But you're right. So I was thinking the other day, like people are getting these stimulus checks, which is awesome. A lot of people are like, oh, it's free money. It's not free money, right? It's probably going to come out of your taxes in the future, right? There's no such thing as free. But what I was thinking was like, what are people doing with their money? I woke up this morning and I'm just like, Christina, you had told me the other day, like people, you saw more, TV boxes?
Yes. That's like every year, that's how someone got their refund check. And I guess now their stimulus check. The things that you see is like TVs, game consoles, and new cars. That's how someone got a refund check. And since everyone's getting these stimulus checks around the same time that they're getting their refund checks, I am seeing a lot of boxes of TVs outdoors. And of course, it's not like the small TVs. It's like the huge TVs. And just like they probably don't have a couch, but yet they have a TV, so that's okay.
They don't have a couch?
They might not. Who knows? They might be at a rent center renting a couch.
That's crazy. It's interesting how people spend their money. I know personally, if I got a stimulus check, what I would do is just, save it. Why not? Why not just save it? Save it or keep it separate for something, because you never know what's going to happen. But I feel like people are just going out there shopping, and not everybody, maybe just some.
Definitely doing a lot of shopping on. I would definitely save it too. Like all my bills are paid for the month. So, and since the only place I'm going now is work and back home, I I don't have to buy new clothes. I don't have to buy new stuff. I mean, the only thing I'm really spending money on lately is shopping out for takeout, which I probably need to slow down on that. But other than that, I have nothing to do. There's no spending. Like there's nothing that we need. And so it's definitely a time to save because, you know, like, I mean, a lot of people are getting laid off. Was it about 12 million U.S. workers are out of work now? So, and they're going to be crying me a river like, oh my goodness, I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my bills. But is that not what the stimulus check is for? To help you during these hard times?
That's true. So I wonder how long it's going to take before people say they're out of money.
If they are not.
Couple weeks or something like that.
I know. It's just like, if you weren't saving at first, and what makes you think it's going to change you now? It's all about the mindset, you know? Like
True.
the money versus wealth mindset. Money is temporary. It goes like that, but wealth is for the long run. That's when wealth is when you're in it for the long game. Like you're trying to have that money turn to a long term, which turns to wealth. But a lot of people don't have that mindset. So it goes like that, and they spend it on the wrong things. So when a rainy day does come, they're not prepared.
It's true. Oh, so what I forgot, I totally want to say thank you to our, what do you call these? Thank you to our frontline heroes, because the essential workers, because without you guys, definitely we would not be in a position that we're in now, whether you're like a police officer or in law enforcement, I'll just say that, or you're a nurse or in the medical industry. What else we got? Like people that do our food supply. We just want to thank you guys so much. We know that you're out there working really hard for us to keep us safe and keep us, you know, our bellies full. So we just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you guys. Hopefully this thing doesn't last too long. Whoever's job it is to find the cure or the antidote or whatever you want to call it,
but yeah,
whatever it is, make it happen.
I feel like a lot of times people forget about the workers who are actually cleaning, and they're still out there still cleaning. So they're also being the custodians, the janitors, like
trash collection. I didn't even think about that.
Yes,
trash collection.
It's pretty important. I mean, can you imagine if they weren't still working, that we would have more rats than we already have in Chicago?
That's true. Most of the rats are probably downtown though. Like now that I think about it, like I don't see no rats about, you know, my parents' house, my siblings' house.
Around my house. So our rat problem is pretty chill.
Oh yeah, because you get cats. That makes sense. That makes sense. Controlled.
So thank you guys for putting your lives on the line, because at the end of the day, you are putting your lives on the line, because you never know if COVID-19 can affect you, if you have a moderate case or severe case. So thank you.
Right. Okay, so back to these stimulus checks, right? So all I'm saying is, if you're going to get $1,200 or whatever else they're paying per child, I don't know, because I don't have children, you know, one day. But if you're going to get these checks, how much should you be saving, right? Just in general, like how much can you save? Like if you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to pay debt, right? You're pretty lucky if you don't have that and you live in America. You don't have to pay debt. Like what else should you be doing with this money, right? So I personally would recommend maybe just save like 30% of it. Just take the check, imagine that you only got 70% of it, and just save at least 30%, because you're really gonna need that at some point in time.
I would say basically, because honestly, they're not doing anything. Kids, as far as Chicago, I don't know if it's all of Illinois, but Chicago kids are not going back to school. So they're not going nowhere. They don't need new clothes right now. They don't need new shoes. They can wear the shoes that they already have. Just save other money and worry about the other food for bills. I mean, extracurricular consists of maybe walking your kid outside and walking them back in the house, or maybe buying a couple of games. There's nothing else that we necessarily need right now.
True. Besides food, right? Besides food.
Important. But yes, save that money. Don't spend it. Don't splurge it. Keep your priorities in order, you know? That's one thing. A lot of people have mixed priorities, and they just be spending it, living outside of their means. Like, you have to put on a show. It's okay to save your money.
True. It was a quote that I heard last week. They said that it was actually this really this business partner of mine, and he mentioned and he said, what people do for other people in terms of money and going far with it. He said the middle class. There we go. He said the middle class are the most people that are in trouble. He said the reason why is because the middle class spend money on things they can't afford to impress people that don't care. And I was like, he's right. Like the middle class, we in the middle. Like who you try to impress? Just be yourself, right? You don't have to throw like a $5,000, $10,000 birthday party for your 2, 3, 4-year-old. Keep it simple. Maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000. But like if you're gonna put down 10 grand, but you can't send them to college, you're gonna put down 10 grand for a birthday party, something that's real temporary, right? Couple hours, but you can't send them to college or you can't pay bills. It's just kind of like thinking about like the stimulus checks and the tax returns. You'd be surprised how much money some people get back, right? And I think it's awesome that they get their money back if they put it in there, right? But I also think we could just spend a little bit wiser. As Americans, we definitely overspend, right?
We do. I mean, what was it? 46% of people are in debt, like credit card debt. But not only people with kids, it's like they're getting a $1,200 check for themselves, and then for each child they have $500. And it's just like, okay, that's a pretty penny. I've never gotten like a big check like that. I don't have any kids. I have my canine companion, but unfortunately, I can't write her off of my taxes.
You better get her a social security number, make it happen.
Security number, because I probably spend as much as her as people spend on their human kids, right?
You do.
But it's just like I've heard like people like getting their refund checks or their help, they're from the government, and they will spend money on like splurge on stuff that's not necessary before they pay their rent. I'm like, oh, so it's okay to buy that Brazilian hair or those mink eyelashes, but you don't want any place to live. You don't want a roof over your hair for your kids, but it's okay. Your hair looks good, girl. Your hair looks good. But it's cool. So now you save because you're not going nowhere. So why does your hair need to look on point? You better throw it in a donut or put it in 2 French braids and keep it moving.
And call it a day, right?
Call it a day, yes.
But we can't just talk about the women. Men overspend too, right? The gym shoes, the shoe game, right? And whatever else. Trust me, I know shoes are nice. I love men's shoes. Like if I had a choice, I would wear men's shoes because they are beautiful. If you've seen some of them, the ones at Aldo, oh my gosh, like I would look so great in the men's shoes. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Even when I was younger, speaking of like, I was always like, my mom used to always buy me like K-Swiss, and people, that song came out, you wearing those K-Swiss. I can't remember that rap song, Hating on K-Swiss. It's like I had all these nice white K-Swiss and all clean and stuff. And people like, you wearing those K-Swiss? I'm like, you got that one. I got a lot of shoes. You got that one pair of Jordans. That one pair, they looking real raggy. But I got all these nice clean shoes. You hating because you got a pair of Jordans that look, you probably not gonna get to next year till your mom gets her next refund check. But you hating on my K-Swiss.
I kind of vaguely remember what song you're talking about, but yeah, I wasn't really involved at the time of, that point.
I used to love shoes. My K-Swiss are on point. People can hate on those. I still like K-Swiss. I don't see them no more, but I like them.
Right.
But it's just like, they do. I don't know what guys spend their money on. I guess video games, shoes.
Video games. I don't even know why you brought that topic up. Like, that is a topic that gets me. Nothing disclaimer against the men, but how are you still playing video games at 40?
That's because Jelyssa's hating everybody. I play video games, right? Like, after we finish this, I'm about to go play some Super Mario Brothers on the Wii. She's just hating y'all. Play your video games. Just don't spend an arm and a leg on it.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just got into it. So, I mean, I play Xbox Connect with my niece. But that's like a one-time thing, right? It's not like I'm spending hours doing it. We do it for like 20 minutes. We do the marathon. It's amazing. It's fun. But I'm talking about like the gaming. Like,
you're talking about like all day.
Or like, I'm talking about all day gaming. I'm not talking about like a quick,
play like video games all day. working a little,
Yes,
working a
it's like,
little, then like
it's
having leisure time, play video games.
exactly. I'm talking about the people that game for 8 hours at a time. Like, that's a lot of gaming. And I mean, they say that, there's some type of intelligence connection. And I heard on the news, which who knows, because the news is usually false. But I heard on the news a little while ago that they were coming up with scholarships for people who play video games. Like, colleges were opening up scholarships because it shows some type of cognitive function. And I'm like, oh, okay, it does something, right?
It does. I mean, there are people who get paid like a hefty penny for playing video games. I couldn't do it all day. I can't look at the phone and play games a long time without getting a headache. So I honestly don't know how they do it. But I don't understand how they have times. Like, I barely have time to do the stuff I want and work. But I guess, a lot of them are not working. They're just playing video games. So,
well, now, I mean, I got nothing against video games. It's just, it's the time investment that people do. And I'm just like, that's a lot of time. I mean, you could be doing so many other great things. I just feel like human beings, we're very, very creative. We have a lot of energy, a lot of passion. Like, put it somewhere where it can be of use, like impact some lives.
everybody has their own, I guess, love that they so I guess if it's video games is your thing, do it. Just don't be doing it all day where you're actually not working. Because I've known guys who should have a job, but they're playing video games all day. It's like, I don't even know how you're affording the video games and you're not working.
Don't they have those reclaimed or video games? I remember back in the day, they used to have them. Like, people would buy them, they didn't like them, they return them, and they could buy them for, like a cheaper price or something like that.
I never bought, like, I've always, like, I don't even know video game names. I've always been like a Mario person. Like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Smash Brothers. I mean, I'll play someone else's, but I never played them long enough to actually purchase games. Like the other day, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna step up since we're in this, like, after work, I'm still working though, so I only play video games on the weekends since that's the only time I'm not going anywhere. But I was gonna buy a new game. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna buy, but they were like, it was like $50. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play this Super Mario Brothers. It was tripping. It's like a video game costs like the same amount as a pair of shoes. I feel like a video game shouldn't cost more than like a movie. But I guess it does. You know what? Nope. They both have a lot of time spent into it. So I feel like a video game costs more than the movie, honestly.
They do put a lot of time and work into those. So I can't hate on that.
But no. But back to spend your money wisely, save. Because the whole purpose of the stimulus check was so people spend, to get the economy working and all that good stuff. But spend on the right stuff.
What are they going to spend it at?
On their bills. They can't be claiming, oh, I can't pay my rent. I don't have a job. Well, you just got a stimulus check. So,
but how long will that stimulus check last is the question.
At least a month?
Yeah, maybe a month for some people. It might help them out. But if you think about it,
I mean, $1,200 is not that much.
It's not.
It's helpful.
It is helpful. Don't get me wrong. It's helpful. It's not a lot, but it's helpful. But what I'm saying is, what happens when the money runs out? Like, is there a CARES Act 2 that's coming out? Like, oh, we're going to send everybody new. Or, you know what? Actually, I didn't read the full CARES Act. It was super long. I read some of the sections for small business owners, kind of skipped around, right? But
the CARES Act is bullshit. Yes, everyone is getting a $1,200 check, and people with kids getting $500 check. But corporate America, they're still getting more. It's fucked up, honestly. So
what was the article you was talking about the other day?
It's like how, I don't remember all the details, but okay, so a lot of people know corporate America is like, oh my goodness, they're in such a tax bracket. Oh my God, they're making so much money. But they know how to work the system. So they usually like make enough donations where they don't have to pay anything out on taxes. And they're getting, there's an article, which I guess like we'll post it underneath this thing when we post it on YouTube. People do that. I don't know how to do it, but we'll figure it out. And it's an article how a lot of big corporations are getting, we're getting this measly $1,200 to $500 per child, but they're getting, their stimulus check is going to be much bigger. They might not be getting like hard cash, but they're going to get a lot of write-offs, which probably was like $1 million for each like a big corporate, each like multi-millionaire. I was like, they're already millionaires. Like right now, they don't have to worry about like working, because I'm pretty sure they have money saved up because they got to that point, so they have a different type of mindset. But this is why the middle class, lower class stay where we are, and they stay where they are, because the system is, they don't want us to be on the come up. But we'll post it so you guys can read. Reading is power, you guys know. Know the shit that's going on. Yo, government. I mean,
you're not claiming it. You live in America. It's your government too. I hate when people say that to me. So when I came to Chicago, I can't believe I've been here for like over 4 weeks now. It's bizarre. But when I came to Chicago, somebody was like, your president did this. I'm like, my president who? Because the only president that I'm aware of is Barack Obama. Now, anybody else, you existed, there was a Bush in there, right? But I'm like, that's the only one I'm aware of. Other than that, I don't know who running the White House. It might be running itself right now. Who knows?
Yes, honestly, they're doing some shit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So every time I turn the news, right, it's like COVID-19, 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 boom, boom, boom. Can you imagine how much shit legislation is probably passing right now under our noses because they are like just like on the news everywhere, it's all about COVID-19.
That's true.
Like when it comes out, like when it's overdone and people can go back out into the world, there's probably gonna be so much legislation that has been passed, like new laws. I mean, our taxes are probably gonna go up, and we're like, damn, when did that happen?
Right? That's so true. I totally forgot about that. That Congress is still active. That makes sense. I mean, our tax dollars pay for them to still be working, but you got a point there. Like, what's gonna happen when we're finally out? What are they writing into law? So when I came home, I had to renew my sticker. Yes, my car is still registered to Illinois because it's cheaper. Well, it was, right? And I found out it was like an extra $50. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's been $100 like the whole time I've been driving. And I'm like, when did this happen? Where is this extra $50 going to? And then my dad calls me. He's like, oh, yeah, that happened during sometime end of last year when we were distracted, that Congress actually wrote that into law, that the state of Illinois, it would go up by $50. I'm like, for what? Like, the state of Illinois is still in debt. So where's this money going? And then the other day, Christina, I remember we were talking, you talked about the front sticker of the car. What?
Which a lot of states and even suburbs in Illinois don't need, but we do it in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm actually glad that I moved to California on that one, because I'm like, wait, you got a back, like a license plate sticker plus a window sticker? Like, tell me what's the difference. If you can explain the difference to me on why we need, first of all, I don't even know why we need the plate sticker. Like, I don't know the history behind that. And I'm already paying $150 a year for that. But why do you need the front sticker? Just tell me, like, what is it for?
Like a way so they can catch you on those speed cameras.
Is that true, or did you just make that up?
I made it up, but who knows?
Oh, okay.
I mean, Chicago is so corrupt. Like, we're supposed to be in so much debt, but yet our taxes are ridiculously high, and we get a lot of TV shows and movies that film, and we get a lot of film in Chicago, and we get a lot of big concerts like Lollapalooza that like have their concerts in Chicago. So they're paying a pretty penny to the city to use the city's resources. So why are we in debt?
Why? That's a good question. I totally agree with you on that one. It makes no sense to me because we pay so much in taxes. I thought about it. So this is what happened when I first moved to California, right? My dad's like, oh, taxes are higher. So many people were saying taxes are higher. And I got there and I was still working a W-2 job at the time. And I got there and I had like an extra $800 in my paycheck. And I'm like, our taxes really higher. They were not. Like, California taxes average at like 9-point-something%. Chicago's taxes are like 10.83 to like 11 point something at different times in the year, right? People didn't know that, right? And then, have you ever brought alcohol in Chicago versus California? Like, no, seriously.
Yeah, skip the alcohol. Have you ever bought water? No, water. There's an extra tax on water. We need water.
True. Well, that's in California too, right? But for me, like, I bought some alcohol. I was in Chicago, I think in November or December of last year. And I brought some alcohol, right? There was a city tax a state tax, tax 1, and a tax 2. I got the receipt to prove it. And I said, okay. So you charge me for city tax, then you charge me for state tax, right? And then a tax 1 and tax 2. Like what's the 1 and 2? Like somebody's getting over. I'm just confused.
And then if you look at, if you live in Cook County, there's certain like things that you have a county tax on top of all those other taxes.
Ridiculous. Not that I'm bad mouthing taxes. We need taxes for certain stuff, right? You know, street lights, potholes, you know, whatever the infrastructure, schools, all the other good stuff, right? But come on, tax 1 and tax 2 on top of city and state taxes. What is tax 1 and tax 2? I feel like if I got to pay my money, I should know what tax 1 and tax 2 means. Just saying.
And speaking of schools, like you say, like taxes and stuff, it's just in the inner city, those taxes aren't going to the damn city. The books suck. I remember it was a couple years ago. I was looking at one of the school kids that we have at daycare, their book, and it still had Pluto as a planet. I'm like, Pluto hasn't been a planet since I was in college. High school. And I haven't been in high school in like 10 years. So where are all these taxes going? I tell you, like, though the government's, the federal government's giving us a stimulus check, like all the governments are fucking us over for real. So
in the long run. Run. Cool.
But that's another day. We're gonna look into them, you know, look closely at what your government's doing for you. Make sure that's why you gotta vote, people. Go vote. Stop being lazy. Walk to your voting place.
What? That's so true. I think you keep changing the topics, but I think that
we like all the topics, even though we started about stimulus checks, all been about governments for a day. So
that's true. That's true. So when you talk about shoot, I just forgot my thought. I can't even remember what I was about to say.
Isn't that tequila? You only had one shot.
Only one shot. That's cool. We probably need to go off anyway. But I want to say good night to everybody. You'll see us next week. Same time, same place. Tequila No Filter. Don't forget to shout out at your girl, Jay.
Yes, and Christina B. Ward, Bianca, because not everybody knows it's Christina. We will see you next week. Be safe out there and don't go crazy. Be safe. Read a book. Right. Book.